with the price of everything going up, interest rates, food, gas, material shortages, can the Cincinnati real estate market continue to increase? Let's talk about that and April 2022 numbers right after this. I'm Rhonda with Comey & Shepard Realtors, and let's dive right into those numbers. Last month, we sold 1,901 units. How? I guess is the biggest question, because when I did this update last month, we had 935 units available. So where did that extra 1,000 units come from? Well, we had a lot of listings come on the market, and our average days on market went from 19 to 10. Still a median of 2, but the point is things started really picking up. In other news, our lowest price property was $30,000, and that was a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath in New Miami, which is north of Hamilton in Butler County. They do have their own school district. They are also near the river. So a lot of flood insurance for those properties, but not all. Maybe a place you want to check out. Highest price property. So this is a really interesting one. Gorgeous house. 5 to 6 bedrooms, 7.5 baths, 6,400 square feet. 5-bay garage, outdoor kitchen in Terrace Park, Marymount Schools. But this house was listed last June, I think, May or June, March, April, May, I don't know, sometime last year in the spring. And it was listed at 1.6. It didn't really go anywhere. They ended up withdrawing it and in October, and then it came on the market again this year at 1.5. The ultimate selling price was 2.189. I want to know the rest of that story. I don't know exactly what happened, but I will tell you it could have been multiple offers. It had been on the market even at that point. It had been on the market for a little while. So there could have been other things to consider. Like, I don't know, they threw in a Porsche or, all of the furniture. I don't know, but probably not all of that would have been financed. So just know, yes, sellers can agree to put on a new roof. Sellers can agree to sell you everything in their house, but lenders don't like to pay for that stuff. Now, the roof thing is fine, but like personal items, we try to keep that on a separate addendum, a separate deal away from the house purchase contract, just because it's not part of the house really. Now, it makes the house really beautiful, but as I said, days on market dropped from 19 to 10. We currently have 1,171 units available for sale. Our average sale price did increase from $297,580 to $308. So it went up 3% over the prior month. So the question becomes, can we sustain the level of prices and increases over, list price? So I think we've talked about it before, but list price is somewhat subjective, right? As an agent, I come in and I go, I think you're in this range. And the seller goes, well, I want to price it here. Okay, I'm here to support you in whatever way that I can. I still say that you're going to do better if you're down here. And they go, but I really want to list here. Okay, so we're going to list there. And sometimes that's the right choice and everything moves forward. We get great offers. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get that offer that we need. And sometimes, and what we're starting to see is those prices have to be reduced to get down to the place where people start to get excited. It becomes compelling to them and they are willing to put in an offer either at or above list price. We have been seeing definite price decreases. We have also been seeing back on market, and that is a lot of buyer financing issues due to the fact that, rates went up. Now they're kind of plateauing here for a moment, but I mean, we're at 5 and some change, and it just depends what your credit is, what else you owe on, as to where you are in the 5s. And some of the folks who don't have great credit history or don't have a lot of credit, you might even be in the 6s. So, you might look at one house and one week you got a quote where you could totally afford that house. Well, the next week you try to buy a house and maybe it's the same price or 10,000 higher. And all of a sudden you can't buy that house anymore. You're not qualified. So that's where a lot of people are, not a lot. There are people having issues and some things are coming back on market due to financing. It is not at this point an epidemic. Just like the number of people that have to sell because they went into forbearance and then now they're possibly being foreclosed on because they didn't really handle things correctly. There are some of those out there, but also not an epidemic. Nothing that is saying to me, oh my gosh, like it's going to crash like that. I just don't see it. All right. So yes, we had a lot of activity this past month and we still are seeing about 12,000 showings per week. So demand is still high, but so are gas prices. It's like $4.30 a gallon. I had no idea because, I drive a Tesla, but my husband said it was $5. And I guess for premium, it kind of is. But that's like, that just blows my mind. I can't believe it. Food prices are up. We can't see, products in stores. We don't have help. I was at Chipotle the other day and there was one person behind the counter and it was like 7 o'clock at night. So all of these things together just make it harder and harder to live everyday life. And when you start looking at interest rates at 5+%, and that means rents and mortgages are going up, how do prices continue to rise? I will say, even though demand is up, I feel that buyers are back in that spot where they were last year, where they're just exhausted. They've put in offers. They've lost 7 deals. They've, and they just have run all over the place. They keep getting their pre-approvals updated and they still keep missing out. But not all of them, thankfully. I mean, the folks who have to move, the folks who have, they've been looking off and on for a year, like they're still kind of out there hanging on. If something really exciting pops up, they'll jump back in. But it becomes a lot for people to take. And so what I'm seeing is the houses that are really amazing, those are getting multiple offers. If the house maybe has something, like it's not really ready, it's not updated, it's got a weird backyard or not much of a backyard, those are taking a little bit longer to sell in certain price points. And normally what happens is, those lower price points, there's a lot of buyers, anybody will take it, there's investors, those things usually fly. And they're still moving at a really good clip. But this stuff on the higher end, we have some that it's taking longer. Maybe things are getting passed up. Maybe it was listed too high and they're starting to come down a little bit. But this is kind of a weird transitional time. And definitely as sellers, folks, you've got to be really careful how you price your property. And you need to make sure that it is clean as a pin and ready to go. All right. So that's where we're at. And I do feel that it's starting to shift, not much, but we're seeing the beginning of that. And so it's important to just keep your eyes open, make sure that, you're looking at all the numbers before you put in an offer. But you also have to, listen to your heart. I think the thing that my clients know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I never want them to buy a house that they are not in love with. And that comes here. It's not something that you can just check off and go, yep, it checks all the boxes, we'll take it. It needs to pull at your guts, your insides, and it's not just a brain decision. So I hope that helps. Certainly would love to know, what are you guys thinking? Are you still looking to buy and sell in the near future? Are you a year out? Are you thinking everything's going to just fall apart, so you're just holding on to your cash? What's happening? All right. Like, share, and subscribe. And give us a call if you have questions or would like to work with us directly.